What is it like being married to a Jamaican? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, founder of Jamaicans.com, and today I talk to James and Christina about their marriage journey. James is from Jamaica, Christina is from Mexico. Welcome, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for just giving us the opportunity to share our story with you.
Yes.
And let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Tell us a little bit about your backgrounds and how you grew up. We'll start with you, Christina.
Okay, so I'm Christina. I was born here in Mexico, in Nuevo León, which is a northern state. We're really close to the United States, so there's a lot of like American influence in here. I was raised here by my mom, my dad. I have a younger brother, 7 years younger. I think one important thing to say is that my parents are also a multicultural couple. My mom's from Mexico, but my dad is French and he happens to be from an island as well. So I think later on in our story, that's going to be important because it had something to do like with Jamaica and all of that.
Can't leave the
All
island.
right.
Yeah.
Can't leave the island alone, man.
So, James, give us a little bit about your background and how you grew up.
So I'm from Westmoreland, as you know. Well, I'm from Westmoreland, a little town in the country called Burn Savannah. So shout out to Burn Savannah, Westmoreland. I went to Cornwall College. I moved to Mexico in 2007 when I was 18 years old. I'm in logistics. I'm a director for a logistic company here in Mexico. Also CEO for Zula Corporation and Rosebuds Garden, which is a company in Jamaica. And yeah, I think that's it. We have three beautiful kids, Pia, Jay, and Kalani. And that's, I think, in a nutshell, my background.
All right. Nice, nice. So let's get into the meat of things. Tell us your love story. How did you all meet? What was the first date like?
So,
You wanna tell the story or go ahead?
yeah, because
Because we have two different stories.
and now we have a full like it's the one version actually, but so we officially like met face to face January 2016, but we had kind of like met before through the phone because James happened to be one of my best friend's boss. And I will constantly call my friend just to be like, hey girl, what's going on? Like, how's your day going? Like, are you gonna go get your nails done and stuff during her work hours? And so James will be just like checking on his team and everything. And I was constantly on the phone with this friend. And so he would sometimes go into our conversations and be like, hey, you cannot call her like during her working hours. Like she's supposed to have like, a report ready or she's supposed to be doing stuff. And I was like, I really don't like your boss. Like he's just getting into our conversations. And so a couple months passed, and in January, there was a barbecue. We love to do barbecues here in
Yes.
Monterrey, and so my friend had a barbecue with her coworkers, and it happened to be at James's place. And so he used to leave his apartment was very close to my parents' house. And I called my friend. It was like a Friday night. And I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? She was like, oh, I'm going to have like this barbecue with my friends and like from work. You can just come. And I was like, sure, I know all your coworkers. So of course I'll go. And when I get there, I see him and I'm like, it's your boss. Like, I hate him. Like, what am I doing here? I don't want to be here. And it was kind of like the same because he
Yeah.
was kind of like, what are you doing here? You don't work with us. Like, this is a work exclusive thing. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I know everyone here. Okay. Like, I don't care if it's your place. Like, I want to be here and I'm invited here and I'm welcome here. And I think for the first couple of like minutes, we were kind of like just like hating on each other. It was like, ugh, I can stand him, and he was kind of the same. And then, everyone was like getting a little bit tipsy and, drinking and everything, and people started dancing. And so I'm a dance teacher. I've been dancing my whole life. And so James was kind of like, you cannot dance. Like,
You
you're a
don't know how to
white gal,
dance,
you cannot
Yeah.
dance. And I was like, oh, honey,
Okay.
please, like, are you challenging me or something? And we kind of did like a little dance off.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like, hey, like, you want to go outside and
That's
just chat and
yeah.
talk? And after that, that was
That
it.
was it.
Like, that
Yeah.
was it, basically. Like,
So
ever since that day, we've been together.
Yeah.
so the question is, what did you dance off to? Was it Mexican music or was it reggae music?
so as you, it wasn't a love at first sight, right? Um, but there's a back track to that story as well because yes, she would speak to her friend all the time. And one day I asked her friend, like, I want to see this, this friend of yours. And so she showed me a picture of her. I didn't send that picture to you. But she said she gave me a picture of her where she had this hat on and she looked all hip hoppy, right? And I was like, oh, she's cool, she's cool. So I still didn't like her because she would interrupt our work. And then the day of the barbecue, when her friend was like, hey, one of my friends is coming, just follow me down to meet her. And I saw her and I was like, really? This is your friend, right? And so, like she mentioned, after we went up and we're doing the barbecue, Justin Bieber's "Sorry" song was huge, and then
The music
the
video
music video, not the
was the
song,
whole
it was the video,
dancing, and it
right?
had a little bit of dancehall inspiration
Yes,
in it.
and she had a really good choreography to that song, right? But the first thing we did was I asked her, "Hey, can you dance salsa?" Because for me, if you say you're a dancer, you should be able to dance everything, right?
No.
And I was like, let's do salsa. So we put the Yo no sé mañana. She had two left. She has two left foot when it comes to salsa, right? And then
Yeah, I
and then
admit it.
and then it was like, you don't know how to dance. And then she was like, okay, hold on. And then she was like, play this song. She had her choreographer to it, and I was like, okay, like this is now I see what you do, right? And then afterwards, we just like again, we went outside, we started talking, and we basically talked until like 4 a.m. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
She had just adopted a dog, not illegally, but her parents didn't know. So she was hiding the dog in her room.
And my mom called me like 2 a.m. like, Christy, there's a dog like barking in your room. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's my puppy. I just adopted it.
Yeah.
And she was like, get it out of my house. Like I cannot like sleep. And it was like, hey, my parents live like 2 minutes away. Can you come with me and pick it up? And can I bring it here? Because he cannot be over there. So, and Napo turned actually 10 years 2 days
Two
ago.
days
We
ago,
just
yeah.
celebrated
Yeah.
our dog's birthday. So yeah, Napo
And
was also a huge like thing in our relationship.
so Napo gave me, yeah, Napo helped me out a little bit because then we went for Napo and we literally we put like what you call it,
Yeah, you put like some
sheet
sheets
and
and so he could
yes,
sleep
in the living
and
room,
yeah, some
and we stayed
water.
and all that. So we stayed there all night talking, and I guess that's when she was like, "Oh, he's actually a nice person, right?"
He loved my baby. Like
And then after that, it was a done deal.
yeah.
So no, when she calls and interrupts, she's more important than anything else now, right?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I like how you did that right there. I like how you did that right there. That was a
So,
good one.
in terms of the dog, did the dog stay with you after that? Or did
Oh,
the dog
there's a
really
story
head
for
back?
that too.
Yeah, because actually, when we met in January, I had been wanting to go to train to LA for the longest time, and I was finally able to, like, do a little bit of savings to be able to move there for a couple months. And I was like, I'm leaving in June, like, I'm gonna move there, like, and just stay there and dance. And first, I had to go the whole summer just to see and look for some housing and find some roomies and everything. And at the same time, my parents were also going to be out of the country and no one could stay with Napo. And so by that time, by June, we had already been dating for what, like
Like a couple of
officially
months.
kind of like
Yeah.
2, 3 months. And I was like, hey, like, can you stay with Napo? He's my baby. And of course, he was like, sure. And he would send me
I
pictures
had
of
to
like
win some points. I
walking
had to
things,
win some points.
even
I had to win some points.
like
I,
Napo would sleep in his bed, which is something that for the past
Jamaicans,
9 years
we don't do it.
hasn't
We
happened.
don't
Like
do
it was
it.
only that time. So he was making points. So yeah, he
Oh,
was actually
definitely,
like became an instant daddy to Napo.
definitely making points.
It was for
Yeah.
the points. It was for the points. You know what? You know. You know. It was for the points.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
So
in,
so Napo
in
lived with me for a couple of months when she was in LA, right? Obviously, he's our dog, right? As she would say, it's her first baby per se, and that's where we kind of got our first responsible reality check. But that's how it started. It started with interruptions and a dog.
That was
good
it.
interruptions and a dog that gave you points.
Yeah.
So tell me, um, in terms of each other, what would you say is your favorite thing, James, about Christina? And Christina, what would you say is your favorite thing about James?
For me, it would be her creativity, and her love for the things that she loves. She loves the Christmas and the Thanksgiving and all of those little things, hosting events, right? So that is her thing. I think if someone calls tomorrow and say let's do something, she'll be like, let's do it at our house, right? She
Yeah.
loves throwing events, and just getting creative with the events, right? I love that about her. She has an amazing heart and the passion for what she does. She's a really good dancer, really good dancer. I'm still trying to get some moves in, but it's not my thing. I don't have that
No.
Jamaican, rhythm in me like that, right? Uh, but that would be like she has a huge heart and she's an amazing mom, right? An amazing wife, and just the way she puts her heart in the things that she loves, right? Um,
All right,
that
all
is what I
right.
like about her the most.
Christina?
And well, for me, I think something that I love about James is that he is very determined. Like, he is very mature. I do think, yes, I'm like this, like creative and funny and like the Lulu part, but he's the one that keeps our family like centered. I love that he cooks. He cooks amazing. He makes amazing Jamaican food. I love that.
Points.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, but he's still like whenever, especially right now that winter is around the corner, like that Jamaican soup, like chef's kiss. Like I love that about him. um I love that he is very like firm, but in a nice way. Like you can see the warmth of his heart. He loves helping people. He's constantly helping people, whether it's people that he knows or that he doesn't. I love the faith that he has. And yeah, I think sometimes he can seem a little bit tough, but when he opens up, he has a really beautiful heart. And I think I just love that about him.
I'm a big bear.
You're
Yeah.
the one that broke that toughness. Those interrupting calls broke him down, man.
Yeah.
A lot of years of work put together.
So tell me the most surprising thing about your wedding.
Okay, so I'll do that. So, our wedding was a surprise, actually. I
Wait. So
planned,
a surprise wedding?
Yeah.
yes. So she had no idea. I
Okay,
planned
okay.
everything.
I'm gonna listen to this one.
So, and it's very interesting. So we knew we wanted to get married. We knew we wanted to get married,
At the beach.
and at the beach. And so I decided I was gonna plan a surprise wedding. Right? We weren't engaged, so I had to do everything literally between a 2 days difference. Right? So the plan was to get engaged one day and then get married the next. So
But you have to give a little bit of
I'm gonna go
context.
to the context
The
because
twins had already been born.
Yes,
So we had to push the wedding because, we just had the babies and it was like, let's focus on the kids. And once they grow a little bit older,
Then we'll
the
get
wedding
married.
was not our first priority. It was just like the twins, newborn twins, and get
exactly.
into it. Hmm.
So we had a trip to Jamaica. The twins were born in so P and J, they're twins. They were born on April 8th in 2017, and we had a trip planned for Jamaica in December. So I planned the wedding for the trip in December. I knew she wanted to get married on a beach. And so basically what I did, I stayed over at the office to plan the wedding, and that got me in a lot of trouble, right? So I would get home at like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and
11 p.m.
11 p.m.
midnight.
But that was the time I had to talk to the wedding planner in Jamaica, right? And so I would finish work, and that's when I would get on the phone with her and we'd plan the flowers, the food, the every single thing about it. But the funny thing about the wedding is that she planned the wedding without knowing. So what I did was I would go to her and say, "All right, we know we want to get married. It's not a priority right
Like
now,
one day it's
but
gonna
let's
happen.
say we get married next year now." And so I'd have option and say like, what colors would you want for the decoration, right? And then
Smart.
she yes,
Yeah.
right? And then she would say, "Oh, I like the color purple in terms of flowers, right?" And then I was like, "Okay, look at these two flowers. Which one would you rather?" And then she like this one. I'm like, "Okay, good, check." And then I'll talk to the wedding planner, and then so everything that was at the wedding, she planned it without knowing, but thinking about the future. So everything that happened in the wedding, it was by her, right?
Mhm.
But through me. So I had a wedding planner doing everything. I would talk to her after work. We had a lot of arguments. She's like, "Why are you coming in late? I have work to do."
And I'm
She
like,
wouldn't.
yeah, until midnight.
Yeah, she wouldn't believe me,
Because
and
my friend worked there, and my friend was
and
not
she would
coming
leave.
at midnight. So
She would
it was
leave
like,
early.
really? Like,
Yes. And so it
So
took me a good couple of 6 months to plan every single thing. Even arranging for her parents to come, her best friend, which is Juana. Her grandma was supposed to come, but she suffered an injury and couldn't come for
mm,
the wedding. And then, we arrived to Jamaica, and her parents arrived afterwards. But
mhm.
when we arrived, I sent her to like a spa date, but the spa date was actually part of it. It was to
It
get her
was
relaxed, and
no,
there
and
was a
it was
the
the
makeup
one they
artist.
do before the wedding just to check that you like the makeup and the hair. And so
Exactly.
his sister, my sister-in-law, was like, "Oh, I have this like,
A
two
friend,
people for the price of one to go because there was a promotion. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's weird. Like it's like the day after Christmas, but okay, we'll go." And all the ladies at the salon, they knew it was a
yeah.
surprise, so they couldn't say anything, and they were like, and it was like, "Why are these ladies so crazy?
So yeah,
And what are they doing here?"
so she got a massage, she got the whole package, and then they also tested her makeup. So they would put on makeup on her and be like, "Oh, do you like this? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it?" So we
yeah.
did everything, right? The nails, everything.
Wow.
And then while she was at the salon, her parents arrived. So while she was doing that, I had to go pick them up at the airport because that was the same day I was going to propose to her. So we had to get her out of the house, right? So while she was at there, that took like 5 hours or more
Yeah, we
because it
were
was the
there for the longest
makeup
time,
and
and I
stuff like
remember
that.
because we were in Jamaica.
Yes.
Uh, when we were doing like the nails, I was like, I would like a nice, like vivid color, and the ladies were like, "Don't you like something more like nude, like white?" And I'm like, "I want like green," and they were like, "I think a white one would look nice on you," and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
but I was so naive,
She
like
didn't
it
know. She
was
had no idea.
like I had no idea at all.
And
So
why
so
she
how did it so
yeah,
how did it transition now to she walks into a wedding? How you get her in the dress?
Okay,
oh,
How did,
so my parents like also like everyone knew about it
extra credit.
except me, like even our friend and everything. And so for example, my mom got the dress and they will get all of this stuff, and then he showed me like WhatsApp conversations he had like with my mom, especially like, you know, I already got this thing and I already got the twins like their little
Yeah.
outfits. And so my parents brought to Jamaica like most of the things, like for example the dresses and everything,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't see it in our luggage. And so I was out at the spa with my sister-in-law, and he went to pick up my
It's
parents,
nice for you.
Juana, my
Yeah.
brother, and everyone. And so they arrived to my mother-in-law's house, and they like once my sister in law and I finished at the spa, we went back to the house, and everything was like so
Dark.
quiet
It
and
was
dark.
dark.
My mother-in-law never has her house like dark like that, so it was like, okay, this is weird, maybe she forgot to turn on the lights, right? And so it's a huge house. So it was like, maybe everyone's up because it's around Christmas,
Yeah.
right? And so I go upstairs and I'm like, where's James? Where's James? Where are the babies? And he's like, oh, they're sleeping. And James must be outside at the balcony. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, you know, I thought he must be with his friends or something. And my sister-in-law goes like, you go and check in the balcony. And I'm like, okay, I'll eventually go, like, you know, no, go now. And it was like, okay. And once I opened the door, it was like my whole family there. And
And she
my
was like,
parents,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
was like in shock. And my parents were holding the twins. And each one of them had like a t shirt saying, Mommy,
will
would
you
you marry daddy on December 28th? And
oh,
it was
it was
like,
the 27th.
it was the
So the
27th.
wedding was one day after the engagement.
So I see it like,
And
Mommy, would you marry daddy? And at first I'm like, oh my God, yes, the proposal. And then he gives me the ring and everything. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go and sleep at my grandma's house because it's like, you know, a tradition not to see
yeah,
the bride before the wedding. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's like, yeah, we get married tomorrow. Like, check like the twins t-shirt. And it's like, what, tomorrow?
yeah,
But where's my dress? And it's like, girl, we've got
we have
everything set.
everything.
Like, you just have to be
oh,
there. And yeah, the next
wow.
morning we woke up, we drove to Negril,
Yeah,
and everything was ready. So I was not a bridezilla.
yeah.
I didn't get the wedding dress. That was amazing. I
Yeah.
recommend that.
I don't
Yeah.
recommend planning a wedding on your own. Don't do it. Not do
James, we thought the dog
it.
taking taking in her dog, having the dog sleeping in the bed and all of that.
Yes.
We thought that was the big points, but that one, oh my,
It was
you
months. It was months. And like I said, the greatest part was she really planned it. It wasn't me. It was just because everything she would say, okay, I like this. Let's do this, da da da. But she was thinking ahead of time. So the food, the lobster, the music, the
The purple
ambiance, the perfect
details,
details, the
having it
flower,
at sunset,
the sunset, the
that was like
hour,
a very
all of that, right? Even her dress, she chose her dress without even knowing, right? Because I was like, hey, like, if we were to get married on the beach, like, what type of dress would you want? And she's like, I don't want the long wedding. And then I'd send her like three options, or like, just send me some options. And she would send me options. And I'm like, all right, this one. Where did you find it? And so
yeah.
um,
you're good man. He's a keeper,
it's
Christina. He's
hectic.
a keeper. Good
I
man.
do not
Good
recommend
man.
it.
I recommend it a lot.
I do not recommend finding a wedding on your own, but it was amazing. We had the family there. The only
Good.
person that
Good.
couldn't make it was her grandma because she had suffered
Yeah,
and
so
she
he
fell.
like my grandma like 2 days before they were supposed to fly to Jamaica.
Yeah,
My grandma was like already like 92
yeah.
years old or something. But she was good.
Mm,
But like 2 days before, literally like 2 days before,
She fell
she fell.
and broke her
She
hip.
broke her hip, and everyone was in full stress because James was like, I was very, very close to my grandma, and James was like, you know, she needs her grandma there, and if she's not gonna be there, we
We're
might
gonna
just
cancel.
call it off. I'm
Yeah,
gonna cancel it, and maybe we can do it in Mexico or something. And even my parents were like there, and everyone was so stressed, and I was just like, why is everybody so stressed? Like, life is beautiful. But it was because they
yeah,
were just like, you know, with this situation. And it was my grandma actually that right now she's up in heaven, but back in the day when she was at the hospital, it was like, no, you guys
yeah,
go. And even my parents, they were supposed to stay like for 3 weeks in Jamaica, and they literally went for 48 hours.
yeah.
They literally went all
and
the
went
way to
back.
Jamaica
Just
just
for the
because they
wedding.
had to come back. So at the end of the day, again, I think it was this like Mexican family thing, like, okay, through adversity,
Yeah,
we're gonna like make it
Do
work,
this.
even if
It,
it's not as
this
it
this
was
could be
planned.
this could be its own film in itself. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for sharing the story. This was amazing. So, Christina, you had mentioned you had grown up with a background of parents with different cultures.
Yes.
So, how did that influence you in this relationship? And then how has the different cultures kind of played out in the relationship itself? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think, and like, I'm a huge believer that there's always like things just don't happen just because, like, there's always situations in life that happen that lead you to where you are right now. And so my dad is French, yes, but he's from an island called Corsica. And it's very, there's a lot of things, like, even like my dad and James have a lot of things that they can share between Jamaica and Corsica. So I think one of the things was knowing that it's not like the only men that exist are the ones that are in your hometown. Like, I think, because I mean, the honest truth is that there's still a lot of families that are like, you should marry someone from your own culture, your own religion. Like, and so I think since being very little, seeing that, you know, vision of like, hey, as long as you have a healthy relationship and you love each other, like, you can marry anyone from the world. I think that played a huge role. Um, my dad, uh, here in Monterrey, we're not as diverse. There's not
Yeah.
that much diversity here. But my dad, growing up in France, there was a lot of diversity because of all the countries that surround France and people that come and go. So, I grew up, which is, I do an important, think it's an important thing to mention, like, the racial thing and all of those things. Like, I was always very open to, like, not care about a skin color or your religion or anything. It was just like, whether you're a good person or a bad person, so that was like very important. um and yeah, just like knowing that my dad came all the way from France and he has been living here for the past, what, like 40
Yeah.
years. uh that I think it played a huge role, like, when
In
I
the
started getting like
relationship.
serious with
Yeah.
James. Yeah.
Anything to add, James, in terms of how the cultural differences played a role in the relationship?
I mean, it is different, but like I said, especially within our family, we are a mixed family. Like he said, my father-in-law were island boys, if you want to call it like that, right? Even though it's from two different sides of the world, so we could relate to each other like from the first day we met each other. So within our family, it wasn't a taboo per se. It was
Right.
just like, okay, this is normal, right? Obviously, then when you go deeper in the culture of the Mexican culture, where it's the food and the music and stuff like that, for me, it really wasn't a shock because I love Mexican food. I
We're
love
going,
Mexican
we're going,
food.
we're going to talk about food in a minute. But I want to stay on the cultural differences in a minute. So, James, is there like something that Christina may have done, said, from which is Mexican culture that you may have misunderstood? And the same question will come to you, Christina. Is there something that James may have done or said from a Jamaican culture perspective that you may have misunderstood? And how did you all navigate some of these misunderstandings?
Okay, so I wouldn't say it was a misunderstanding per se, but for example, in Mexico is a very family oriented, very, very family oriented, right? The family is very close in Mexico. And then in Jamaica, that is like to each his own, right? And so for me, understanding that, especially from her viewpoint of what a family structure in is Mexico, when she would explain like how she grew up, for me, it was like we grew up in two different worlds, right? And so I had to little by little understand that, like it's Sunday days together and it's not one person in one room and the other person in the room. Like we all have to sit down and eat together, right? And over here, it's a family day. So, like she mentioned earlier, we do a lot of barbecues, especially here in the north. So those were things that I really had to like, get into, especially like events, the Christmas and the Thanksgiving and stuff like that. We really don't celebrate that as much in Jamaica. So I had to get used to that, and those are things that little by little she kind of helped me, to get into.
Navigate it.
And yeah, that's where it comes with the cultural part of it.
Okay. Anything from you, Christina, in terms of misunderstanding or Jamaican cultural behaviors or something that happened and you all navigated it later?
I think, and I kind of understood it like fully until I lived in Jamaica, uh, is that Jamaicans have a really strong accent, and so they can be like calm and telling you something like normal, and I was like, "Why are you shouting at me?
You know?
Like, why are you being so mean?" And later on, like talking to like my sister-in-law, like my mother-in-law, friends that I have now in Jamaica who are Jamaican and stuff, you understand that that's their way. Like it's kind of like an accent being a little bit more like um
Direct.
direct, yes, direct. And so yeah, because as you say, especially here in the north, because we have a huge like influence from the US, everything is like, oh, everything's so sweet, and like you're a Disney girl in a princess world in your little bubble, and then it comes
I'm
like,
like, it's
yeah,
this, right?
like
I'm strict.
yeah, and it was like, why are you like that? And then you just figure out it's just an accent, and it's just the way Jamaicans do. Like you cannot take it like
Yeah,
personal, because once you leave over there, it's like, oh, it's normal,
it's everywhere.
Direct.
Yeah,
So,
direct, exactly.
so we touched on food just for a little bit. Christina, what is your favorite Jamaican dish?
What's not? So I really like a good ackee and saltfish, and now I can say I can identify when it's a good one and when it's just something that's not as good.
Yeah.
So a good ackee and saltfish, with some festival, you need to like limit yourself with a festival
Yeah.
because you can just eat a bunch. And then I just love getting like my fried chicken, rice, and
Yeah.
peas, but it's from this one special place that James
In
knows
Kingston.
in Kingston
Yeah.
on the street. Like if it's from like a restaurant stuff, like it's like nah, no, but like that street vendor, like that's the best chicken and rice and peas in the world for me. Like I love that. I can eat that daily when we're there. Yeah.
So, James, your favorite Mexican dish?
Tacos. Tacos, tacos, and more tacos. I mean, I love tacos. And just about anything. Like I love Mexican food in general, whether it's
Yeah.
the pozole, whether it's the tacos, whether it's the, tacos de barbacoa, the steak. So, because when I came to Mexico, I arrived in like a countryside. So over there, you still have the authentic
Yeah.
Mexicans. So they would make the tortillas by hand and stuff like that. So I got introduced to like real Mexican food. So my love for elotes and stuff like that is like, the first time I ate a barbacoa, which is sheep food, I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm never going back, right? This is just amazing, right? They dug it up out of the ground. I'm like, this is just amazing, right? So for me, I genuinely love Mexican food, and
Yeah.
it's in entirety, like every single thing about it.
All right, good, good. So, is there a Mexican phrase, James, that you find yourself now using, a Mexican slang? I know you already speak Spanish, but slang. And then, Christina, is there a Jamaican slang that you find yourself using? PG now, parental guidance, PG.
I mean, for me, it would be soy más mexicano que el nopal, right? Because now
It's an expression.
yeah, it's like an expression to see like I'm more Mexican than the cactus, right? Because cactus is like on the 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 flag per se. So if you say that, it means like you're very Mexican. So nowadays when people ask me where I'm from and we speak about different things, I'm like, I'm Mexican, and they're like, no. And I'm like, soy más mexicano que el nopal, right? And I kind of like that. The other ones are not PG, so
Okay.
I
All
can't
right.
say
That's fine.
those. So I'm keeping it very
Christina,
PG right now.
which Jamaican slangs to you?
Well, I think that we will all agree here that if we have to keep it PG, we cannot go fully into the Jamaican
Yes.
slangs.
Yes.
But I think there's a lot of things. I don't know, when he's asking me stuff, even like you or the kids, or sometimes even people here in Mexico, and that you want to say like no, it's like no, man, or I don't know, my son sometimes when I've been telling him like, pick up your shoes, pick up your shoes, pick up your shoes, and he just won't listen. It's like, what?
Pick
Come
up
pick
your
up your
shoes.
shoes. And it's like boy. And
Yeah.
I think
All
one thing
right.
that I have adapted a lot is that, and which is a fun fact, all of the groups that I have taken to compete, because I train little girls and they go off to like dance competitions, the word gal is
Yeah.
always in there. So it can be like, I don't know, like the sassy gals or the studio name gals, like it's something. So when they announce them, it's like from Mexico, like FDT
Yeah.
gals. And it's like, what? And I
Yeah.
usually put like Jamaican colors in their
Yeah.
costume. So that's like a thing that I like to put out there, like bring that Jamaican thing into here.
And one thing that I think you missed was, I think it's just one word, right? And so whenever you call her, she just answers like "wa"
Oh, yeah.
every
Wow.
time. "Wa, wa." So you look at her. If I'm just looking at her, she's like "wa." I'm like nothing. Like
Yeah.
no, And especially when she tells the kids to go brush your teeth, he's like, James, go brush your teeth.
And
Is it?
there's that authority,
Yeah.
what we were
When
saying about
yeah
the
yeah
accent. It makes it like, go do it.
when they hear Patwa, they move. They really do
Oh,
move
yeah.
when they hear
Oh
Patwa.
yeah. Oh yeah.
This is that
So
when she wants to get some authority going.
Yes.
so it sounds like, and I think you mentioned it earlier, James, you have taken Christina to Jamaica. Um,
Yes.
and so was there something in Jamaica that you wanted Christina to experience, and did she get to experience it? And I won't ask you about Mexican culture because you sound like you have already experienced it all. But
Everything.
Yes.
Maybe Christina had something that she wanted you to experience in Mexico, and you did. But we'll start with you, James, in terms of what did you want her to experience?
Yeah. So we moved to Jamaica in 2002.
Yeah, but we went way before
We went,
that.
yeah, because we always go back every single year. We'd go back one, two, or two times, right? One of our first trips was actually going to Jamaica. So she loves the Jamaican culture since 2016, right? And she's always fell in love with it. But when we did move back for a year, I wanted her to actually experience Jamaica as a Jamaican, not as a tourist, because they're two different worlds, right? It's that the tourist is like, oh, they smile and they tell you hi for everything, and the Jamaican one is like, when you go to the store or you go to the cook shop or whatever, they're literally gonna look at you like, what you want, right? It's like you're bothering me, right? Like now you understand, it's not I'm not being trying to be rude. Like this is just how the culture is,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that cultural shock hit her because she had been used to the everyone just so nice to her and stuff like that. And then when she went there to live, she was like, what is
Mhm.
this? Right? It was different. But other than that, it was
Okay.
also, yeah, it was a culture in general, like the going out, the nightlife and stuff like that, which she
Also,
fell in
like
love
the
with.
countryside,
The
like
countryside,
it's very different, Kingston and the countryside. So
different places.
getting like the real Jamaican,
Yeah.
not just like the, as you say, tourist version. Yeah.
So I wanted her to experience that. We did that for years, and also we wanted the kids to experience Jamaica because they're also Jamaican. And I mean, you adapted pretty much some of the things
I'm a Jamaican girl.
Jamaican guy. But
we're gonna
that's it on my end.
all right. We're gonna test that Jamaican gal in a minute,
I
but
think you should change the name to say James, Jamaican gal, Christina Rose at the bottom. You have to put that in the caption right there.
so Christina, was there something in Mexico that you wanted James to experience?
I think, as he mentioned earlier, just get this like family experience. Like, I think the first Chris and my family is not as big. Generally, like Mexican families are like super big with a bunch of cousins and uncles and everything. My family, no. Like, my mom was a single child. My dad was also a single child, but like his family was over in France, and so all my life, it was only like my grandparents, my mom, my dad, my brother, and me. And even though we were only six, like, it's Christmas, it's the birthdays, it's like always together, the family, the family.
Mhm.
And I think the first kind of like holidays or reunions, it was a little bit like hard. Like, James could not fully understand it. And it was like, it's Christmas. Like, we
Yeah,
all have to be together and dress up and just like be together. And he was like, well, like, I don't fully get it. Or even like small things, like
yeah,
small gatherings with the family that probably, as you say, in Jamaica is not as formal. It was like, no, like, this is super important. Like, and so I think it took him like a couple months, years,
yeah,
to kind of like fully understand. And after living over there, I also understood on my part why it was hard for him to adapt. Like, it was not something like, fast. And that's where you have to compare like both backgrounds, both cultures, and kind of like meet halfway. And that
yeah.
doesn't happen just like from one day to another. So I think that
Okay,
was one of the interesting like things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
great stuff. So I have a little surprise. We have a pointing game that we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask 3 to 4 questions, and you're gonna point at who that question relates to. All right.
Perfect.
So
We're
let's get
ready.
started. Who
Let's get it.
snores the loudest?
We had a discussion about we had a discussion about that last night because she had to literally leave the room because I was snoring too loud. She like poked me and I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're snoring too loud. I can't sleep."
That's true.
And I fell back asleep. And I just heard her get up and she went with our daughter and that was it. But that's definitely me.
Who is the most spontaneous and ready to go on an adventure?
Yeah,
Mm,
that's me.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that is me.
Who falls asleep first?
She'll be up until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. easily, easily.
Who is the better cuddler?
Oh.
Yeah, the foot rubs and all
And
that. This is her.
who is the worst singer?
Ooh, I
Not
don't
a
sing
singer.
very good, yeah, but you do
All
your
right.
thing when you're in the groove.
So so I have a special segment just for Christina. I want to see now, James, how much you have Jamaicanized Christina. And she may have a heads up because she y'all lived in Jamaica for years, so she may have a heads up on it. But let's see how much you have Jamaicanized her. First one.
All right.
All right, I think you got
If
this.
you go into a Jamaican restaurant and the customer service is really bad, how is the food?
Well, customer service is always gonna be bad in Jamaica. Food, it's okay. It's good. Jamaican food, good.
Yes,
Yes.
Jamaican
yes.
food is gonna be good.
Okay,
Customer
all right,
service,
Horrible.
0 stars. Food, 5 stars.
okay, all right. You got it. You got a point there. All right. If a Jamaican party starts at 6 p.m., what time should you arrive?
Oh,
6 p.m.
well, no. People sometimes arrive like at 10 or something. 11, like, I don't know, like something, yeah,
You
like
get,
they
she
don't
gets the
follow
point.
up like, no,
She
if you
gets
want
the
people
point.
to arrive by 10, you put at 6. So, yeah, they're never on time. Never. And they don't feel guilt for it. They will just arrive fresh, like, hey, what's up?
All right. So, can you sing any Jamaican song? I know he pointed at you as the worst voice, but a verse from any Jamaican song.
Oh, well, keeping it like PG, I'm gonna stick to like Bob Marley. And I think that's a really common one, but it's a beautiful one. It's a song I love to play daily, which is like Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun, three little birds reach
All
on
right.
my doorstep. I love that one. So it puts in an instant good mood.
She loves the other ones too.
Yeah, the other ones I love,
The
of course.
spice, the spice, and the shensias and all of that.
They have some songs that are PG, you
The
know.
other ones she like. The other ones she like.
Another one she likes.
All right, so here is the last one. What do Jamaicans call avocado?
Easy.
Pear. He's like, that's not a
Man,
pear. That's
she
guacamole. That's avocado. Like, why are you telling me pear is up? It's another thing.
you blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
You got a point for every single
Yep.
one.
Yep.
She
Congrats.
she has been truly Jamaicanized.
Now you need to tell Pika to give you your passport.
I'm only missing a passport. I got my driver's license already. So,
So, listen, guys, James, Christina, thanks again for spending some time and telling us your love story and how you navigate cultural differences. Question for you first, Christina. If there was one Jamaican skill you could master, what would it be? Whether it be in, some people say cooking, dancing, the language, others, what would it be for
the
you?
dancing.
Okay.
Dancing. The dance hall, like the nice dance hall. I just like feel it,
Love
like get those moves. Like, I would love to be a master in that.
it. James, any Mexican skill that you would like to have and master?
I think I've mastered. I think it would be the patience. That's it. I'm not very patient, right? Mexicans are very patient, very, very patient, right? They're just easygoing, and I'm not that very patient. I got that Jamaican blood in me. So I think that is something that I'm working on, right? I
Okay.
definitely get that, take that from the Mexican culture.
All right. What advice would you guys give to couples who are navigating cultural differences in their relationship?
I would think that you will always be in constant learning and in constant adaptation and in constant growth. Um, be patient, be open, very open, and just try to work things out, putting yourself in both perspectives. Like, don't just stick to like, oh, because Mexicans we do it like this. Like, hey, try to put yourself in the shoes of like the Jamaican side, and then come up to an agreement and work with it. And it takes time. It takes years, kind of like into like meeting halfway. But hey, it's a process, and I think it's worth it. It's fun to have a multicultural and diverse family. It's really fun.
All right. Any advice from you, James?
Be very open-minded. Be very, very open-minded. You just have to understand that again, you're from two different cultures, let alone the culture, like cities and all of that. So you have to just understand that you come from two different worlds. and you cannot come and impose what you know on the other person. You have to adapt. You have to know that it's a meet me in the middle. There are things that you have to give and things you have to let go. A lot of things you have to let go
And modify.
and modify. And
Mhm.
then you have to kind of create your own little culture, right? I think that's the most important part. It's not to say this is what I know and this is what you know. It's saying what we both know, how our cultures are, and then how can we create that little culture in our household for our children and our family, right? We bring a little from here and a little from there. And I think that's the main part, because whenever you come in these things with too much expectations, you normally get disappointed. And so you have to come in with an open mind and say, all right, it's a blank slate, if you want to say, right? And then we're gonna start painting little by little, right?
Mm.
And until you get to that final art, which is never, because it's a continuum that you have to keep learning every single day. There's things that you still are not going to be able to adapt to that easy, even after years of marriage. But I think being open, it's one of the most it's one of the best things you can do in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Great, great advice. How many years married?
We're gonna be 10
Yes.
in December.
No.
9.
Yes. Because the
Nine
kids are
years in
eight.
this, yeah, 9 years in December.
It's 9 years in
Happy
December.
happy anniversary. And
Yeah.
also, there's a question I'm gonna ask, and this may cause some discussions.
Let's see.
So Jamaica plays Mexico. What's going on in the house? Because Jamaica plays Mexico in football on a regular basis. What happened?
Ooh.
So funny thing, he
Yes.
he's Jamaican, but I know soccer wise, he's gonna kind of support more Mexico because they're kind of like a little bit
Jamaican things
better.
stress me out.
I'm Mexican. I'm not into soccer, but I just love like kind of like everything that has to do with the Jamaican and how like the crowd it is. So I'm gonna be Jamaica because I'm gonna be able to be like, yeah, man, and you know. And then we just have our son that's gonna come and put
This
his both
both, yeah,
T-shirts one on
yeah,
top of the other,
yeah.
and he's gonna be like, I love both of them.
Oh,
He's just
Yeah,
that
simple to
is
so
get.
we
interesting
gonna
because
switch.
no,
We
the,
switch.
the, the
Yeah, we
three
just,
kids, the three
yeah.
kids probably divide you all. Some one is cheering for Mexico, one is cheering for Jamaica. That
The
probably is
girls really
interesting.
don't care, to be honest. The girls really don't care. They'll just sit there and be like, it's just like if one says Mexico, the other one is going to say Jamaica just because, right? So that's how the girls work. But our son, he's very passionate. Like he really
Loves
loves,
both
like
countries.
he
Like he's
loves
passionate about
both
both.
countries. He's also French, but he's like, I am Jamaican and
Yeah.
I am Mexican. So for him, he will never choose a country. For me, it will be, and then again, whenever we have games, my brother-in-law comes over, and that is where the rivalry always starts, right? It's like he goes to one team and I go to the other team, and we're just at it, right? But
People over will be like that. Like
yeah,
if we had to pick, like I will be like go Jamaica,
we
and he's
switch,
gonna be
we
like
switch,
go
we
Mexico.
switch,
Like
we switch.
All right,
Yeah, definitely.
that's great. So I usually end with goodbye in the language of the spouse who's not from Jamaica. So Christina, how would you informally say goodbye in North Mexico?
so informally, I would say adios.
Okay, all
That's
right,
like the short thing to say like adios.
all right. So adios, guys, and thanks again.
Adios y
Thank you
muchas
guys.
gracias.